Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to some Friday afternoon Train Sim World 4. LWD Adnan here, and today we are going to kick off with some Mein Spessart Bahn as we are still playing through it. You are more than welcome to, as you can see in the top left, send in your request, whatever it is that you would like to see, be it a loco, be it a route, a scenario pack, whatever it may be, and I'll add it to the list and we'll get through everything one by one. So definitely a different time in terms of streaming. This is a new background. That's pretty nice. A new time of day for streaming. Usually I would aim for evenings where there's more traffic in terms of viewership, and also usually my most popular, which I guess makes sense, a more popular time to stream. However, with regards to evenings, they are very sporadic and spontaneous, and I can't really set an affirmative schedule for such a time. So our schedule will be consistent, the same day, same times. We're 5 days a week, so with 2 days off, and we will see, I guess we'll gradually see as time goes on, as I'm consistent with it, where that will take us in terms of viewership and followership. I've been banging on about a schedule for quite a while, and yeah, it's about time we had that in order. So yeah, today we are starting again with some MSB, Mein Spessart Bahn. I was very tempted to pre-order the new upcoming Salzburg route, but I read through the update announcement over on the forums, and there's a scenario. I don't know whether I think it's being released with the route, but it's broken. Now, for a lot of people, scenarios are a big thing, and including myself, I tend to make content off the scenarios and then play the rest of the journey mode on stream. The journey mode is sort of almost like my career mode. I like having a somewhat standardized way of playing, and the journey mode is as close to like a career mode that you can really get to with Train Sim World. So I personally, I'm not bothered too much. I'm not like incredibly excited about scenarios. It's not like, I haven't really seen what the latest routes have had to offer in terms of scenarios, but from what I remember, scenarios have never really been Train Sim World's strong point, and so it's never really been, they've never really excited me in that way. But once again, they're still important, and to going back to my point, I think to release a route with a broken scenario is ludicrous. And of course, even more ludicrous would have been releasing the routes with all the scenarios broken, which, as I read the article, or I read through the post, that's what I had understood was the problem, was that none of the scenarios were completable. So of course, now that we've only got one that's incompletable, it's better, but not good by any stretch of the imagination. And to you know, to ask for money in exchange for something that doesn't function. You know, I can't imagine that happening in any other realm, in any other genre, whether it's electronics, whether it's furniture, whether it's car sales. I cannot imagine a company or a brand selling you something knowingly broken. And I guess at the very least, they've made us aware. They haven't tried to hide it. They haven't tried to, um, you know, brush it, sweep it under the rug, as the saying goes. But man, at the end of the day, the bottom line is that you're releasing a product that is broken with no time frame to fix it. I mean, when you know, when Dovecell will say we'll take a look at something, a bug, an issue, whatever it may be, that could mean they'll have a fix out in days, 6 months, or never at all. It's literally a roll of the dice, and you'd think they would prioritize it with it being a new route, but man, you know, you think by now they'd at least have a time frame, maybe not a specific date, but a time frame. But I don't see how they would entice users to pre-order with not even a time frame. And I like at the end of the day, I'll be doing it for content. You know, from memory, the live streams that I used to do with new content, like on release day, where they've been some of my most popular streams. But man, I wanted to pre-order it, but there's like the loudest voice in my head telling me, "You'd be a fool if you do. You'd be an absolute fool if you do." And I would. I don't think there's really a price for buying something that's knowingly that you know doesn't work in its entirety. And I do also think it's a little bit ludicrous that there's no... Yes, there's the 10% price cut for pre-ordering, but there's nothing further than that, and you're releasing a knowingly broken product that you've said is broken. So at least soften the blow a little by making an adjustment, because you're asking a lot of money. At the end of the day, for what the product is, it's a lot of money. You know, when routes are complete, a lot of people feel like they're overpriced. So how much more now for a route that's incomplete, that you have said is incomplete, and you have said that you don't have a time frame to solve? So yeah, obviously there's still an opportunity, there's still an option, and it's still possible that I'll buy the route just to show it off to you guys. But man, if I do dip my hand into that particular cookie jar, I wouldn't be doing so with a peace of mind. Honestly, I wouldn't be doing so with a peace of mind. And how the products got so far that pre-orders were even announced with broken scenarios is beyond me. That means this issue wasn't found, wasn't seen until the very last second. It's a tough sell, man. It's a really tough sell. I really don't know why my timed Nightbot commands don't appear in the live chat. And I forgot which one is one that works, because there's one that announces, I don't know why it does it, I don't really see the point in it. But it will, as the stream starts, automatically it will put a message in the chat saying that I'm live, which is great. But it's not really helpful because it's the very beginning of the stream, so no one's there. And you're just announcing the stream, which clearly, if somebody's in the chat, they already know that there's a stream going on. So I don't know, it's interesting. The dilemma I have though is that I don't remember what I used to set that up. And so yeah, Nightbot works fine for commands. Like if you put a command, it will respond. But I don't know why it doesn't do the automatic ones as well. And I simply cannot remember what it was I used for automatic messages. So that's a bit of a yikes. I feel like I haven't had to press C in a while. Have I? I've turned it on, right? Yeah, it's on. There we go. I've been waiting for it so I could alt tab. And I just found myself waiting for quite a long time. Maybe it was Stream Elements. I really should remember, shouldn't I? All right, I think it was Stream Elements, you know. Let's see. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I need to, yeah, to be fair, I think I was recommended Stream Elements. But I was also recommended the one that I'm using, and it's gone. And I don't even remember who, I think I remember who recommended to me is Rio. Rio, where are you at, man? I haven't seen Rio in a very long time. He hasn't popped up in my streams in a while. Hope he's doing all right. Also, I really want to know, do people watch VODs? Because what I'll find is that once I finish streaming and it will go up as a VOD, it will have zero viewers. But then as time goes, the number will go up and up and up, and then it will stop. It will just stop. And so I wonder, is it generating viewers based on, you know, how many people stopped by? Or do people actually watch the VODs? I find it really hard to believe that people would watch the VODs. And if so, how do you even find VODs to watch on YouTube? The only way I've found VODs is by intentionally going on someone's channel and clicking the video, going to the video section and watching the VODs from there. But I've never been able to just search Twitch regularly and come across VODs. You know what? Let me set up a test, a quick test auto chatbot. Let's see. Add new timer. Timer name. Test. And test. Activate timer 5 minutes. Okay. So it should just say test basically every 5 minutes. If I've set it up correctly. One thing I didn't really plan as I was setting up a schedule was just general YouTube videos. One way or another, I'm going to have to fit that in. Luckily, though, they don't take too long. The longest videos are obviously my Euro Truck 2 ones. But I feel like if I'm now streaming that regularly, which I do plan on doing, I could just get content from the live streams, and then they're sort of killing two birds with one stone. William, hello, mate. What is the best DLC in the game? Oh, if you're asking me, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask. I literally haven't played about half of them. I've been gifted a lot of them, and so I haven't played like a lot of them because I'm starting from the oldest to the newest. So I'll speak about the ones that I have played. I would say, okay, so by what the vast majority of players say, Preston to Blackpool Ormskirk, that's the most detailed route, one of the most busiest. It's one of the newer routes as well, and just one of the routes where the developers have actually taken their time and put their passion into it. So by majority vote, the Preston to Blackpool route, but I haven't played it. So from the routes that I've played, either London to Brighton, because of how busy it is, it has the busiest timetable in the game, or probably Peninsula Corridor, just because it encompasses the feeling of, I don't know, like I've never been to America, but it feels so realistic. It's set in San Francisco, and it just has such a nice atmosphere and a nice environment to it. So that's my personal favorite, but only because I haven't played all of them. You should play the Blackpool route, it's very good. Okay, well in that case, are you requesting it? Is that one I should add to the list? The list that we've got up there? Because I'll play that damn game. The thing is, I know it's good, because if everyone says something is good, it has to be at least decent, right? So I know it's good, and I've seen like gameplay, and I've seen photos, but I've got this thing where I like doing things in an order, which isn't always good. It's not always great, William. So going at it from my angle, it's going to take a while. So realistically, I'll be very honest with you. When I do these streams, I really hope people come and request the routes that I know I'm not going to be playing for a while, so I can experience them. Because otherwise, But you know what? I'm gonna add that to the list right now, actually. And then I give myself a reason. I don't want you. I want you. All right, cool. So now that's official. That's officially the next route I'm playing. Now I have an excuse to play it. And to be fair, I uploaded it yesterday as well, actually, and uploaded it today. I played one of the train games that Roblox has, and I drove the Pacer. And from what I've heard, from the little content that I've seen with the Pacer in TSW, it sounds very, very close. So I'm keen to compare, at least just mentally, the two sounds. Roblox has surprised me, man. I didn't think Roblox had it in it to be as good as it is. But yeah. Roblox has never really had like that. I don't want to use the word clout, but Roblox has never been that game. It's been like a kid's game. There's just a couple blocks. That was what I remembered. And when I came back onto when I played it again, because I never actually played it myself, I just knew of it. Everyone knows about Roblox. When I played it myself recently, oh my god, I was blown away. I'm currently playing on the East Coast Railway. That is another classic. The East Coast is another classic. I wouldn't mind revisiting that at some point, because I've got some mods now installed that I didn't have before. Some scenery mods, some... I think it's mostly just scenery, actually. But yeah, East Coast Way, I think, was my first ever route that I played on Train Sim World 2. That was my first Train Sim World. And I just fell in love with it, man. Fell in love with it. That and Paddington to Reading with the Great Western Railway. That was a. Those were like my legendary. Those were the foundations of Train Sim World for me. And I can't forget the London Underground route as well, the Bakerloo line. But then I'm based in London, so maybe I'm a bit biased with all these UK routes. But as someone who hadn't played any train games before, that was like my introduction, and that was what I was attracted to initially. But as time has gone, honestly, I've learned to appreciate all types of railway, man. From, you know, whether it be Switzerland, Germany, France. I know a lot of people are very UK only or US only or German only. I think it's pretty good to be open-minded and give other things a try. I guess everyone's going to have their favorite regardless, but it's good to have experiences here and there as well. Personally, I think Steam was my biggest surprise because just the thought of driving Steam, and I know it's pretty much chalked in TSW, but regardless, the thought of it with all the gears and buttons and everything that needs to be set just to get the thing moving, man, that was so heavy on my like, you know, mentally on my mind. But I said, you know what? Basically, I don't like having things that I don't like having a train, for example, that I don't know how to operate or that I'm scared of operating. I like to be in control. I like to know that I know I can jump into this train or this train and it will work. And it's the same thing with, like, if I play a car game, for example, it's the same thing. I don't like having something that I feel defeats me. I don't know if that sounds silly, but I don't like having something that I feel has something over me. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to give Steam a go at some point. Gave it a go a couple months ago now, and it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. And that was a similar thing that I had with the British Rail 101 because of the gears. Around the TSW2/TSW3 days, you'd go in the forum, and if you would ask anyone what's the most difficult train to drive before Steam, it was that train because of the gears. So again, it created this image in my head of this intricate, meticulous technique that you would need to possess, or this gift that you would need to have in order to drive that train. But I said, you know what, gonna give it a go anyway. Drove it within the first run I'd done after the introduction. It was cool. The only thing that took a while for me to understand was the braking, the lapse braking, and then realistically that wasn't restricted to that train anyway. I had that issue with every train that had lapse brakes, but I drove it a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, in VR as well actually, and it was great. I had an amazing time. I was stopping within 1 yard with lapse brakes. Now for me, who, you know, clearly I'm not the most hardcore train simmer. Obviously I've got the HUDs on and, you know, all sorts. So for me to get within, like, consistently get within 1 or 2 yards of my stopping point with lapsed brakes in the 101, quite the achievement. Do you have the Birmingham Cross? I do. I have every DLC. It would be very awkward for me to say requested DLC and then somebody requested DLC I don't have. Yes, I do have the Birmingham Cross City, and surprise, surprise, haven't played it. Never played it. So yeah, that's also another route I wouldn't mind. That route actually, I've got a lot of mods for, so that's a route I'd be more than happy to jump into. And that's another route that I've heard is pretty good. It was a bit iffy when it first came out, but I think Dovetail have done pretty well to alleviate the issues. But yeah, I do have that. I also have the regional, what's that pack called? The pack that came for Cross City, one of the old school livery, the old livery. That comes with some scenarios as well. I have that as well. So if you want to see any of that, let me know as well. This is the thing. This is why it would hurt me if I don't end up buying Salzburg. Central, yeah, Central Regional, right? I think it was called Central Regional. Would I rather do Blackpool, but I don't know. I don't know because I haven't played either of them, have I? So, what would you rather see? That's the question. I'm just here providing a service. What would I rather play though? Based on what I've been, it has to be the Blackpool one, doesn't it? It has to be, because according to those who have played it and the noise that's been made about it, it has to be the Blackpool one. Because as good as Birmingham is, and even when it first came out, it got a lot of positive feedback as well. It wasn't as big and it wasn't as good a feedback as Blackpool received. So I would say Blackpool. Blackpool, yeah. We're agreed on that one then. It would be nice going back in time a little bit as well when, you know, driving all the old stock. It would also be interesting to see the suspension. What have they called it? Whatever the suspension thing they've brought in. Because I think the Pacer is one of the very few locos in the game that has it working. Actually, funnily enough, I think the Birmingham one does also the 323. Just, it's like almost like an alpha version of it or a beta version, and the one that the Pacer is using is more up to date, which is sort of strange in itself that that's even a thing. To be fair, when I was buying routes, on you know, day one and pre-ordering routes regularly back in TSW 3, basically I would release like videos on YouTube but I would release the scenarios. I'd play through the scenarios, record them, and then release them. But I feel like now I can't really do that unless I get the route on day one, because that content's already out there, if that makes sense. So I can't now buy an older route, then release the scenarios for it. I've done it for New York Trenton, to be honest, but only because it was requested 4 months ago. But we'll ignore that because I completely forgot somebody requested this for me to upload videos of it. Yeah, I'm gonna do Blackpool next. So we've got 2.5 miles left for this run right now, and then I'm gonna turn on some Blackpool. I haven't really admired our little loco here. I do like seeing mixed freight. I've realized there's quite a lot of that on this route. But yeah, we'll do some Blackpool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm here for another 2 hours. 2 hours and a bit. So I think there's enough time to do Blackpool. We could even do some cross city, some Birmingham cross city line, whatever it is. I got time. Well, until we haven't got time. We've got time. The only iffy thing is, but I think I tend to handle it pretty well, is the whole switching from like, some locos are quite similar in their operation, while others are very varied. You know, whether it's in their braking, whether it's in their physics in general. So moving back and forth can be a bit iffy, but yeah, like I said, I think I tend to handle the change pretty well. The other day we drove, I drove the Baby Bullet train on Peninsula Corridor for the first time. And that was a breeze. When I mentioned it was my first time using driving that train, everyone was like, what? Because like from the get-go, from the introduction, I was able to just maneuver that train well. But then some trains you just feel comfortable driving. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that. And it happens to me with cars as well in real life. But some trains on this game I can get into, and it's just a perfect picture from start to finish. And other trains, I can be on my 10th run and my brain is just not braining. I'm just not clicking with the train. And it's like that with cars as well for me, because when I was doing my driving lessons 6 years ago now, the car that I was driving during my lessons, listen, I'm going down a side street and I'm clipping people's wing mirrors that are parked because I just couldn't feel where the car was on the road. It was a very interestingly shaped car. It was a Honda Civic, but the ugly one. And then not long after that, I bought a Ford Focus. And I don't know about other countries, but in the UK, or at least in London, on some side roads to keep people's speed down, sometimes they put these bollards in the roads that are very close to each other, very, very narrow, so that you're forced to slow down and go by them slowly. I didn't need to slow down for them. And bear in mind, they're so narrow, and I wouldn't need to slow down because I know exactly where I need to position the car, where my car is on the roads for me to go through without needing to slow down. And it was like a very satisfying feeling. But yeah, there's not every car that I can feel that in, and it's not every train in this game that I can feel that in. Yeah, so clearly my Nightbot isn't Nightbot. Not even Nightbot, it's my stream elements. I wonder what it is then. Surely it's not a coincidence that my face is so red. I need to buy a ring light. You know what? I might order I need to order one probably this stream. What was I saying? I forgot a point. Oh yeah, so I don't think it's a coincidence that none of my chatbots are chatbotting. So I wonder what it is that's in the way. The commands work. Nothing else seems to though. Right, so we're easing into siding 104 to call it a night here on the Mindspec Barn, and then we're gonna head over to the UK for some good times up to Blackpool. I've actually never been to Blackpool before, and from what I've heard of it, I don't know if I want to. I guess it would be a nice day out for sure. But I just don't know if the place you really want to holiday in. I know it's got a beach and all, so does Brighton. The funny thing is about Brighton is I've never been there during the day. Around the lockdown days, you know, to get a Zip car, which is like a car hire thing app on your phone. Zip cars are really cheap overnight. Some cars are really cheap overnight. And so I'll just gather with a group of friends and just, you know, spend the night in Brighton, get on the road about 9 o'clock in the evening, and then we'd leave there around 1 in the morning. The roads were quite empty around COVID time, so yeah, I'd drive from London to Brighton maybe 45 minutes, which isn't great. But yeah, those were good times. I miss those days. Well, at night, Brighton's nice. I don't know whether it's the fact that it's Brighton, or whether it's just the fact that I'm close to the beach or close to the sea. because it reminds me of my parents' homelands, which has got plenty of beautiful beaches. Can never compare, of course. And that is it. I really love it when the stopping point isn't right at the signal. Cool, so that should be a gold medal, hopefully, yeah. I wish it broke down why it's a gold medal, because sometimes I'll get a silver or a bronze and I'll just be clueless as to why that is, because I don't really do anything different than I did there, for example. So it's odd, but yeah. Preston, where you at? Here we go. Blackpool branches. So only 254 services. I thought there would have been more. Right, so is there any particular loco you want to see, or shall we just get going with the journey mode? That's one thing I like to do. Journey mode is almost like my career mode, if it makes sense. I like having like an order. Hold on. Okay, introduction. I was thinking, I've never played this route. How is that ticked? But yeah, let's get into it. Let's do the introduction, get to grips with the pacer, and we'll go from there.
Welcome to this Class 142 diesel mechanical multiple unit in British Rail Provincial Blue livery. This brief introduction will cover basic controls, stopping and passenger boarding. A lot of time will be spent in the cab, so climb aboard to get started.
I know this is a training centre, but why do I feel like I haven't seen this? First and foremost, it's a bloody good model. Jesus, that's really nice.
Before climbing on board, you will need to open the door via the external hatch. Start off by... Now you can open the hatch. Now you can press... Before boarding...
Ah, look at that.
Insert the door key.
Okay. This is what it's about. I like this.
And activate the guard's door panel by inserting the key and switching it to the on position.
I like the fact that there's a...
Now that you have activated the guard's panel, you will need to open the hatch above the door. This will give you access to the controls.
An informative introduction, you know, a proper introduction.
To shut the doors. Now that the doors have closed, you can shut the hatch.
Oh, he loves to see it. Shouldn't we lock...
You need to reinsert the key to deactivate the guard's panel.
Okay. I do like that.
Sit in the driver's seat.
This is nice, man. This is really, really nice. Thank you for suggesting it, William. Oh, a lot to get to grips with.
The master key is used to activate the control desk. Marker lights are used to inform others around you.
Oh, it sounds like good as well.
The platform to ensure all is safe. Then unlock the doors.
And you know what the thing is as well? There's barely any mods for this train or this route. You know why? Because it doesn't need to be any mods. that says it all. That nobody's, as far as I can remember, there's like graphics enhancement mods, but there's nothing to make the train better or to make the route better. I'm sure if we had full access to the editor, maybe someone could, you know, busy the timetable up even further or something of the sort.
Boarding is now complete.
But clearly it's not a priority, because it doesn't need to be.
Use the reverser to set the direction of travel. Release the West Coast 3-step braking system.
I like it. I like it.
Stopping the train in the right place is the greatest skill of a train driver. It may take a few attempts to get it right. Depending on the speed of the train, begin braking between 1.5 and 1 mile from the station.
Yeah, that's something we are going to have to learn. Is the breaking point? The breaking point. The breaking. The time to brake.
25 miles per hour when the train
Whoops.
reaches the platform. Then come to a stop anywhere alongside.
Ah, when the train reaches the platform. Okay. And to be fair, you might as well start slowing down now and just let the train coast. I am looking forward to how this train is going to run in Blackpool. I also want to try this in VR as well. I'm going to try that off stream at some point because yeah, the detail's a lot. I like it, both internally and externally as well. I do want to record in VR, and it's been done, but I don't know because when I tried to do it, for some reason the quality was trash. I'm not quite sure why, because it's meant to record off the monitor, which is 4K. So I don't know why the quality was so bad. Okay, we can work with this. They're better than I thought. I underestimated the brakes.
Give a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe. Then
They're actually a lot better than I thought they would be. It's a little cutie, really, isn't it? Look at her. I've heard that it's not great to ride in.
boarding is now complete. Set the doors to lock.
So I think she's a cutie if you haven't been inside it.
Continue along the circuit and practice the next stop before completing this training module.
Right, off to Metro North, where we should finish up, and then we can start our runs properly. I believe it's running a bus engine. I do appreciate the automatic gears. I really do appreciate that. As fun as the 101 is, I do appreciate automatic gears. I hope passengers work fine on the route. I'm actually not sure whether Blackpool is affected by that whole ghost passenger bug. And if there are passengers, I hope they interact with the train. Although, because I feel that's a core issue, I do wonder if I should be hopeful at all.
This completes the basics of driving the Class 142.
What route am I going to do first? I'm going to see. It depends on what the journey mode will offer us. I tend to just go according to the journey. Now, why was that a silver medal? What did I do wrong? Did I lose any points? Maybe because I didn't set up safety systems, but then I don't feel like that would be needed here. But yeah. Yeah, so it depends on what the journey mode offers us. Well, of course, if you want to see something specific, William, a specific loco, etc., then of course we can make it happen. So let's see what we're gonna get. Pacing around. So we're starting off with a 2 Foxtrot, 1-4 service, Preston to Omskirk. So what's like? Okay, so Omskirk to Blackpool South is the full length. Then I assume what's a 1 hour and 10 minutes. This is a scenario, so I won't look at it too much in terms of time. But usually, it looks like we're usually looking at a 30 to 40 minute runtime. So let's get started. Can I do the third one? Yes, I can. I didn't see that message. Sorry, I'll go back. Let's do the third one. I didn't even see what that one was. Oh. Oh, there we go. Got there in the end. Oh, that's that first time shader cash in. Why? Okay, maybe not. Why am I okay, yeah, it was just caching the graphics for the first time. Don't mind that too much. Don't mind that too much. That was scary. I assume that's why it took a little while to load in as well. No worries, really, mate. So what was that one? Blackpool South to Preston. Let's go to Papa 09. Man, I'm starting to lose my is it called the phonetic alphabet, right? When I was studying railway engineering, I used to be like that. And it's been a while. It's been a while. But I'm going back to working on the railway anyway, so it should come back to me pretty quickly. Fingers crossed. So drive this passenger service from Blackpool South to Preston. Quite straightforward. Let's get our doors open. Can we do that without activating the master key? We can indeed. Let's put her in forwards. What do we have here? So we've got cab heat on. No need for all of that. The buzzer, I'll just control off my keyboard. Lights, let's put that to head. Instrument lights on. Destination light should be on as well, of course. Cab light, I'll happily leave that off for now. Compressor speed up, I think I'll leave that off. I don't know if that's necessary. Gear holds, I think that's when you're going uphill, I believe. So we'll bear that in mind. I'm glad that's something that actually works as well. Turn AWS on. Have anything behind us? We've got a load of things here. Not many that we can click by the looks of things. What's this? Saloon light. Yep, we'll leave that on, of course. Vestibule light. We can leave that off. Guard heater, not too fast. Guard screen. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Yeah, doesn't look like a passenger. Oh, we got a full train actually. Never mind. Okay. I should set my destination, shouldn't I? Where are we headed to again? It's Preston. There we go. Lovely. Cool, we've got just under 20 seconds to go. I think we're all set. Lovely sunset. Lovely, lovely sunset. I'll have to say, that's gorgeous. That's bloody gorgeous. So yeah, we'll be going into the night. And hopefully it's a smooth run. That's a new AWS this little thing over here, this is new. Daffodil. Alright, let's give it some. Let's take off the objective marker. Let's turn off the stop marker because we are still having to do this manually after every introduction. Stop marker off. And that's it. Sit back. Enjoy. And let's get there in one piece, shall we? I already feel very involved. How can I explain it? Maybe immersed is more the word I'm looking for. There's a lot going on outside the train. All the foliage, the buildings, the parking lot we went past was full. There's life. It feels like there's life. Oh. I wonder if the roller coaster's active. I guess that's time dependent. But yeah, there is a car that drives on it. A cart. There is. Is it called Pleasure Park, if I'm not mistaken, right? I wonder if we can go that far. We can. Yeah, look at this for detail, man. How about this? There's a whole... Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're gonna miss our... I wasn't paying attention. If we stop in time... We are gonna stop in time. These brakes are surprisingly good. I wonder how accurate they are. I wonder how accurate the brakes are. But they seem a little too good for what, a 70s route? I think it is. I've been on the roller coasters, they're called the big one. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. That must be really cool seeing things that you've experienced, that you know from, you know, your real life events in game. It's not really a comparison to a bloody roller coaster. But I used to work at Battersea Power Station, and seeing that route in you know, going past the bridge when you leave London Victoria on London to Brighton, I'm very familiar with that bridge, and so it always makes me a bit giddy when I go past it. It's always a good feeling when something's modelled as you remember it. Battersea Power Station itself is modelled pretty well as well, to be fair. Alright, I've kind of made a hash of that approach. Let's try and do a little better. Now that I know how good the brakes are, I think I can gauge a little bit better where we should be stopping from. The Gaming Dad, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you? That buzzer was a little bit messy. I pressed it 3 times, it only buzzed once. I mean, William, I can see why it's called the big one. I can definitely see why it's called the big one. Watching from the USA. Welcome. Welcome. I did think about my US audience, and I thought to myself, it's a little bit early. Obviously, it depends where in the US you're from. I know it's all a little bit complicated, especially for my UK brain. But, yeah. Thank you very, very much for the follow. You are welcome to the channel. But yeah, it's good to hear that I've got someone from the USA watching. Basically, I would always stream during the evenings, which is more suitable for like the whole planet, other than I guess maybe particular areas in Asia. And now that I'm streaming a little bit earlier, I thought maybe I'm gonna lose quite a bit of my US audience. Right, we'll see how it goes. I do get surprised every now and then, so never say never. 10 a.m. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, that's early. That'll be the time that people will go along the activities, and then it's only when the evening comes in, that's when people will decide to rest. In Florida, the land of crazy. If it's one thing I know about Florida, I know it's the land of crazy and gators. Although I tell you what, because of its reputation, dare I say, Florida is definitely a place that I'd want to check out for sure. It's almost like I need to see that crazy for myself. Hopefully I'll make it out alive. I do hope to visit the US in the near, quite in the near future. Yeah, I'll say the near future, in the next couple of years. Gaming Dad, I'd like to know, being a Floridian, is Florida a place you would recommend for someone who's never been to America? Right. See, that's crazy to me. So here a Floridian say they stay away from the crazy parts. Living in Florida, all right, that's that's ruffled my feathers. But now I want to go. A little part of me wants to go even more now. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Like where? You can't sell it to me, Gaming Dad. Because if GTA 6 comes out before I make my trip to America, that is gonna be the Florida I know. St. Augustine, Orlando, Miami, Key West. You know what? I'll be honest with you, yeah. I forget that these places are in Florida. I haven't heard of St. Augustine before, but I know of Orlando, Miami, and Key West, and I know they're very nice places, very touristy places, and they're booming places. I forget that they're in Florida. Oh look, my test chatbot is working now. I guess I just needed someone to talk in the chat. I probably should turn that off now, because that's on a 3-minute interval, and that's going to be popping up rather often. We're 1.3 miles away. I'm going to take the risk. Disabled just in time. St. Augustine, the oldest city in America. Oh, damn. I'll tell you what, the amount of history America does have is something to respect. I'll be very honest. And I only know of it because I've watched so many episodes of Ghost Adventures, and they tend to go to places of historical value, like old mining towns and cities with like very, very old structures. And it's always interesting. Like I love seeing history. I love history. So automatically St. Augustine is cool in my head. It's automatically a cool place. I need to remember where my wife's family are. I tend to forget, because they're in America. That's the only reason that I'd be going there. Although I've always wanted to visit America anyway. But now I have more of a reason. I think it's fair to say, I would say there's an equal amount. I guess because America is so vast, maybe it seems that there's more in America, but if you were to scale it down, I think it'd be quite close. Although you guys have stolen our original London Bridge. Not London Bridge, Tower Bridge. Which I just think is the strangest thing ever. Like number one, why is a bridge? Why has a bridge been taken from one location to another? And number two, I can't fathom how it was done back when it was done in the time period that it occurred. We do have castles. You know what? Castles are cool. Yeah. Castles are cool. Especially, obviously, the more north you go up, Scotland, especially, which is all the way up north. Yeah, they've got a lot of them there. We've got a big one in London, by London Bridge. Funnily enough, as we're talking about it. But maybe the US stuff is more appealing to me because the whole grass is green on the other side sort of thing. Because I've lived here my whole life, so it's just like, yeah, we have castles, we have a bit of history, but it's like meh. Even though it's substantial, but I guess you just get comfortable. Whereas obviously I've never been to the US, so the whole thing, history and, you know, modern day stuff to me is like, oh, I wish I could see it, you know, firsthand. Really, where did you go, Gaming Dad? No worries, William, my man. No worries, man. Thank you for recommending it, because like I said, without somebody recommending a lot of these routes that I have, I just wouldn't ever play them, to be honest, because it would take too long to get through the backlog of the rest of the TSW2 routes, then all of the TSW3 routes, because my progress was taken from me somehow. And then the little handful of TSW4 routes before we get to something like Preston. And I'm providing a service here, so, you know, by all means, man, it shouldn't be a thing. I used to tour in a band and was there for a bit over a week playing shows. Okay, so I would say not London. I feel like every time I've heard stories about bands touring through the UK, whether they're UK based or not, it's the more Midlands, northern part of the continent. Not of the continent, of the island. Bands in London isn't really the London, like you do have. There are a group of people, and there is an area in London, 2 areas I can think of actually, that are like band type places, if that makes any sense at all. Holy shit, okay, cool, all right. My hands are up. I didn't expect that. I did not expect the O2, Jesus. Fair play. Fair play. Fair play. That's huge. What was that like? What did that feel like? I've been there a couple of times, and the scale of it as a part of the audience is mind-boggling. And I always think to myself, what would it be like on stage with an audience that big? I think there were like 15,000 people. Wow. Hell yeah. That had to be amazing. At least, at the very least, it was amazing. Wow, man. That's huge. Props to you, man. Props to you, honestly. That's big. So is that still your thing? Are you still going around touring and you know, doing your thing? Or have you called it a rest? Was that like a once upon a time thing? One of the biggest shows we ever played. I can imagine. I mean, there's not much bigger than the O2 though, is there, Game in that? Like, of course, there are some venues, but there are not many that are bigger than the O2. Jesus. I'm 43 now. We stopped touring 13 years ago. Wow, man. You know, 43 is young. So I feel like if that was at least 13 years ago, your life is sick. A man now with 5 kids. You've lived your fucking life, the Gaming Dad. You've lived your life. Oh my god. And there's still a lot to do. Obviously, everyone's got their own opinions. I don't think 43 is old. I really don't. And like to have that achievement and only be 43, to have so much ahead of you as well, that's crazy. That's huge, man. I feel honored to even have you here. Welcome. Have I welcomed you here yet? You're welcome. Wow. You better not. You better not. You better not, man. Wow. Wow. Your kids must be proud then. Kids must be proud. I feel like when you're a personality, or when you've got, you know, some major achievements in your life and you have kids, I feel like it goes one way or the other. Either your kids are crazy about what you're crazy about and they want to be like their dads, or they have absolutely zero interest. Oh, are we going to stop in time? Overrun it a bit. I know it's forbidden, but I'm going to take it back a little bit. Kids never cared too much. Yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. I mean, I've got a lot of plans now myself. You know, the wife and I. We've got 2 kids, but you know, our thing is like they're gonna have their own life and their own goals and their own desires, and not too fussed about having them follow our footsteps. I've never really understood that you can't really force a child to follow a particular thing. That's like one of the quickest way to have your child lose interest in you. My 9-year-old plays the songs on Alexa all the time, though. Yeah, that's lit. That must make you feel proud. Awesome. Awesome. I wonder if I should have set the rear destination. I don't know how they used to operate back in the day. Maybe we should turn the tab light on now, shouldn't we? It's getting a little dark. Alright, we've only got one more stop to go. Was that 29 minutes? I mean, to be fair, we've got quite a while before our next stop, but I feel like that went pretty quick. Man, even at the distant scenery, like all the electric poles, I forgot the name for them. Like in the distance, it's nice having them close by. But when you see them in the distance, it feels real. Because it's only now that I've seen them in the distance in game that I realize you don't really see them in the distance in any other routes. And it's things like that attention to detail, which sells a route for me. Like, this is worth paying twice for. I've been playing the game for about 2 weeks now. What do you think of it, Gaming Dad? What do you think of it so far? And what routes have you played as well? I've got everything here, by the way, all the DLC, so if there's anything that you want to see in particular, anything that maybe you're thinking of buying, or anything that, a loco that you need. I know some of them can be very tricky, so if there's any loco that you want any assistance with, we'll do the best that we can to provide that. would it be smart to buy free workout for streaming, just to give me that energy? It's not something that hasn't crossed my mind before. I feel that's a little overkill, but if it works, isn't it? I like it. I did the Eastern route. I also did Scotsman 100 mile an hour challenge. That was fun. That, you know what? To get your feet, to have just dipped our toes in, and have driven any steam locomotive is quite the achievement. So, fair play. I was telling William not too long ago how steam is something I avoided for so long. Even though I've been playing since Train Sim World 2, I was terrified of steam because of how complicated, you know, it is compared to other trains. But once I dove in, it wasn't that bad at all. It really wasn't that bad. Obviously, it takes some getting used to, of course, naturally. But I feel like it was a pretty quick process. And to be honest, if you can dive in and play and, you know, drive steam trains as one of your first trains, if this is a game that you're going to be playing quite often, then you're all right. You're good to go. Took me a few runs to get it. It's fun once you get it though. Yeah, that's the thing. For a lot of people, the fun is in the learning process. The harder the loco is, the more fun people find it. So that makes perfect sense, to be honest. The only thing about that scenario though, Gaming Dad, I'll be real. The Flag Scotsman, obviously people have their gripes with the physics. I personally am not too fussed, but I understand why people are upset. So I love the train. I love the loco, and there's just a sense of occasion with it. When you drive it, when you just see it go past, even just looking at it. But in that particular scenario, when the music comes in, I don't know whether they've done anything about it now, but when I played it, the music was deafening. It's so loud, and I wanted to hear the loco. I wanted to enjoy it, and I couldn't because the music was just in my ears. But other than that, it was a great scenario. Other than that, I think all the scenarios that come with that loco are pretty good. It still does the music, and I assume it's still deafening. That's Dovetail for ya. Some things they get absolutely right, and some things are questionable. I know we've got one more. I don't know why we've got a double load passengers instruction. But we are going all the way to Preston, of course. Duh. Does this work? I don't hear anything. They do have announcements though, don't they? So why isn't it working? I need to remember to use the free cam when I want to zoom in, because otherwise I have to keep adjusting the first person cam. There we go. We can zoom in as much as we want. Yeah, I do wonder why the announcement isn't working. Is that something maybe I should have done from the beginning? Huh. My headphones are low. I don't think I charged them. Let's play Will They Survive? I will attend to that very soon. Oh, we got a bit of rain. Dynamic weather. How about that? Alright, is it either off or fast? There's no other option. Sounds about right for the 70s. Oh, I just noticed how long it is until Preston. So hopefully we get to stretch the legs of the pacer a little bit for the first time and see how it does at high speeds. I actually don't know what the top speed of this route is, the highest permitted speed. If we could fit in a 90, that would be pretty cool though. I was surprised by, on the East Coastway, there's, I think there's a 90. William, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you're playing through that right now. I believe there's a section on the East Coastway where you can go to 90. And I did not expect that for how little the line is. Are you doing Birmingham after this? We can do Birmingham after this, if that's what you guys want to see. I'm loving the route, William. I'll be honest, mate. I'm loving the route. Maybe we'll do one more Preston, and then we'll do Birmingham after. Or I can do Birmingham straight after. It's completely up to you guys. I know what I will do, though, is just update the upcoming routes list. You don't mind? Cool. Then in that case, I think we can do one more of this. Maybe, hopefully, we get like a bit busier timetable. Maybe I'll do the first one of the journey mode, because that had a 47, I think, a class 47 beside it. So that looks like a run where we'd see a bit of traffic. Because this one's been pretty quiet. I guess it obviously depends where you are as well. I also got a used road driver train cab controller for $60. No way! On Facebook Marketplace is pretty cool with the game. I really want one of those. I really do. But I'm not keen on paying $200 for one. That's the only thing. $60! I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I really want one. Although, I'll be honest, I do wish, as players of train sims, we had more than just one piece of hardware. Like with racing games, you've got Fanatec, you've got Thrustmaster, you've got Logitech, you've got Moza, and more, and all of those have tens of different options. Farming Simulator has quite a bit of hardware. I don't know if it has meant much, but it has a little bit. But for when it comes to train simming, there's literally only the rail driver. And I know people create their own little bits and bobs here and there, but for the mainstream, there's really not that much. I know no one ever uses the audio in it, but the sub is cool. I didn't even know it has audio. That is cool. That is awesome. Because people found it very immersive when Dovetail introduced the alarm playing through like a PS5 controller, a PlayStation controller. So I can only imagine how much more immersive it would be with sound coming from the rail driver. Is it the full audio, or is it just like alarms and alerts? Yeah, there's a small subwoofer in the controller. Nice. Yeah. Gaming Dad, don't tempt me, man. Don't tempt me. I really could do without spending $200 on a gaming piece of hardware right now. Not right now, not in this economy. But it's ever so tempting. Every now and then I find myself on the website, inching closer and closer every time. You know what, we've made a lot of grounds. We're only 2.5 miles out now. We're doing pretty well for time as well. It's almost 6 minutes before we're due. It has a low pass filter in it, so it's all bottom end sound. I'll pay full price for it though. I don't think I'm too surprised, but I'm still impressed. Definitely still impressed. Guys, I promise you, I assure you, I am not red. I hate the fact that I don't have a backlight. I hate the fact I don't have a backlight. I look so red. I assure you, I'm a human being. I'm not a reptilian. I'm not a lizard person. I'm a human being. I'm going to order one today. I ordered some things for Amazon earlier. I just completely forgot to add the backlight to it. It's worth maybe $80 to $100 at most. Sounds reasonable. Sounds reasonable. I have always thought $200 is a bit much. The thing is, maybe I just haven't found them. But I don't think there's many like reviews. I think I've seen one review of the Rail Driver, and one review just isn't enough to really help you make an informed decision. But going off what I think, looking at it, 200 is a bit much. And I was also disappointed when I saw for the first time how big it is. It's a lot smaller than what I would have hoped for. That's something that stuck up to me as well. But because there's no competition, you end up not really having much of a choice unless you want to create something yourself, which a lot of people do. As much as I do love my German trains, it's relaxing not having to deal with PZB and CIFA. For sure, Gaming Dad, for sure. And now with, I don't know what the American equivalent is, if there is such thing, but now with the cost of living crisis that we have here, things are just getting more expensive anyway. So when something's already overpriced, I just can't imagine needing to splash out on it, to be honest. I mean, I'm studying engineering, so maybe at some point I'll learn how to make something. Something of use. The only thing I've been able to make so far is a whistle, which was cool because it was made out of metal, like a block of metal, and we made a whistle, which I still have. But maybe I'll learn how to make something a bit more useful. This station is incredible, by the way, as are the screens. Look at that, man. Some glitch in somewhere here. It's gone now, seemingly. Oh no, there it is. It kind of glitches a little bit. Look. That could just be from a mod of mine, though. I saw some locos stabled up here. Oh, what's this? Ah, the famed 101. Special service. Interesting. I wonder what service that is. I wonder if you guys can even see anything. There was some locos stabled somewhere. Where are they? Maybe over there. Yeah. So we've got 101 here. We've got another 142. It does feel like more like a toy than a piece of hardware. That reminds me of when I first bought. I mean, I've gotten rid of. Well, I haven't got rid of it now. I still have it, but I just don't use it anymore because it's broken. But when I got my Logitech wheel, not the wheel itself. When I bought the shifter for it, I was quite disappointed because it just feels like plastic. And I knew it wasn't great before. Like I knew it wasn't going to be amazing before I bought it, but it was still disappointing, man, because it's just a load of plastic pieces stuck together, basically. Let's do a Preston to Ormskirk run, and then we'll move over to Birmingham Cross City. But yeah, and it was a little disappointing because you buy these physical pieces of hardware for immersion, because you know you're playing a game, but in the back of your mind you know it's a game, but you do what you can to sort of immerse yourself regardless. Oh no, we've got a 101. Oh no. You know what? I don't mind. I like the fact that there's substitution. I like that. Let me remember how this works. So there's a thing up here. Turn that on. Put her in forwards. Okay. Then white. Destination light on. Where are we off to? Ormskirk. Like, what, why does life do this to me? I was just being thankful for not having to deal with PZB and CFAR, and I get slapped with gears, a whole manual gear system. Great. But I feel like it'd be quite an experience. At least we're gonna have like a big variance in terms of trains. So we've got obviously the 101, we've got the 142, we've got the 47, we've got the 45, I think, as well. Have I just missed Ormskirk, or is Ormskirk just not here? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O. There's no Ormskirk here. Okay. Huh. Maybe I'll just leave it as special then. That sucks. We've got two 101s. We have a... Look at the... Oh, my frames. Oh, yeah. I need to do this because... I know the tail lights are going to be off. Yeah. So let's make these red. I don't mind leaving that blank, to be honest. Let's go back to the front. Yeah, I have the G29. It's not the best, but it works. You know what? It lasted me 7 years. So it also lasts. The thing for me, I didn't have an issue with it until all right. I need to bring it all back. I think we've got it. Oh, these brakes again. Oh, this is going to be an interesting run, boys. This is going to be an interesting run. But yeah, it lasted me a very long time, but it was just the fact that when I started to learn about the motor within steering wheels, so you got gear driven, which what the Logitech is, you've got belt driven, and then you've of course got direct drive. When I learned about that, it's one of those things where, like you talk about a red car and then you start seeing red cars. You talk about a yellow car, you start seeing yellow cars. When I learned about gear-driven systems, I started to feel it, which sucked big time. It really sucked because I couldn't make minuscule movements when I'm driving without noticing that I'm moving gears, and I could feel them, and it sucked. So it was at that point for me personally where I was like, yeah, this is gonna be, it's not gonna be too long before I upgrade. But luckily I upgraded because my pedals stopped functioning as they should have. My brake and clutch pedal would automatically depress for whatever reason, I'm not sure. So I was forced to buy a new steering wheel, which I could not be happier about. I'm not going to buy a direct drive wheel because I'm not paying £2,000. But I've got myself a Thrustmaster belt-driven wheel, and I'm happy with it. It does what it's meant to. They say direct drive is so much, but direct drive outputs the exact forces a real life car would. That's why they're so popular. That's why they're so dangerous. That's why they're so expensive. Because you've got the full experience in your palm, basically. We're going way too fast, but we should still be able to make it. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed you don't derail. Oh, painful. It's painful. But we've made it. There's one thing that I used to do is hold the train in laps. But as you can tell, it's been a while. I think it would be worth getting buying a direct drive wheel if it's going to be something you're going to use often. Because to spend so much money on it and then to not use it would be a bummer. If you can afford it, of course, by all means, go ahead. But if you want value for money, I personally wouldn't buy one until I know, okay, I'm going to be a full-time race simmer. Which I low-key need to go back to, I'll be honest. I did have fun on LFM. There she goes. I honestly don't know how much juice my headphones have left because they keep beeping in my ears. And if they die, it's going to be a little awkward. We've got a red coming up. Why have we got a red coming up? What could that be for? It's approaching very quickly. And we've only now just gone past the yellow signal. I don't feel like a driver would have too much time, especially if traveling at 70 miles per hour. There would be time, but you'd need to slow down pretty quickly. Although, to be fair, if you've got this long a straight, and you had a pair of binoculars, you'd be alright. I hope this isn't one of those where it will clear once I fulfill this instruction. Kind of takes away the immersion. Okay, okay. I do love the clickety clack. Because there's a token exchange, right? A little too fast for a token exchange, but you know. quick hands. There you go, lad. Cheers, mate. Let's get her moving again. Oh my god, I meant to stop. Ah, right. I didn't notice you meant to stop. Okay. Every token exchange I know of, it's done during movement. I haven't heard of token stop where you would need to stop the train. That's a shame, but we know for next time. I don't know when the next time is going to be for this route, but we'll try to remember that. I should have just read it more clearer, but hey ho. Anyway, off to Croston. Off to Croston. So I would assume we might get here a little early then, as we didn't stop at the token exchange. Single line running. I'm not sure how long we run on a single line here, but of course we're not going to have traffic for a while, so it's going to be a little bit quieter. Although with the fields to the left and to the right of us, with the nostalgia of a 101, it's serene. With me forgetting to change the gears, it's quite serene. You know what? I wouldn't mind turning the gauge lights on. There we go. I know the runs on Cross City Line are a little long. I think is it an hour and a half for an end-to-end run? As much as my own way of playing means I don't really get to play the new routes much, a benefit is that by the time I do get to those routes, bugs and any issues with the routes are sorted out by then, and there would be usually a load of mods to improve the route also. So it's like I get a very nice experience. A late one, but a nice one. Let's start slowing down from here. How are we running late? I thought we would have been early because of the... What happened at the token exchange? But we're almost 2 minutes late. Where did that happen? How? I'm actually quite baffled. Oh, this is a short platform, isn't it? Jesus. Dump all the air. Ah! Yeah, that's in. We don't need to look, but it's in. Out of sight, out of mind. Let's fill the tanks up a little bit. And get ready to depart. Off to Rufford's. Put her in gear. And get her moving. Put the brakes back down to lap. Ready to be utilized. And off we go. Let's try and make up time. I have no idea. I guess because this timetable is made for the 142. Is that why? But I feel like for how far we are into the run, we're super late. to everyone that is currently watching. You are very welcome to the stream. We now finally have a schedule. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. All 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. UK time. All that's left now for me to decide is what games to play. So Train Sim World is going to be more than a regular. Maybe I'll do Train Sim World 2 times a week or 3 times a week. And then on the other 2 days, I guess a mix between a mix between Euro Truck multiplayer and what else do I have there? Euro Truck multiplayer, we've got Roblox, which would still be train content and sometimes bus content. I guess it just depends on what I'm feeling on the day. Loving all the line side clutter, by the way. I'm definitely taking notice of it. So am I right in saying either a stretch of this line used to be used to have 2 tracks? I feel like I read something of the sort. I've been getting a phone call. I hope it's not important. Boy, oh boy, it's 4 o'clock. Right, I think we'll do one full run on Birmingham Cross City. Call it there. Because those runs are long. I don't think I'd need to do... I've never driven the 323. I don't know if it would be worth doing an introduction or not. I guess we'll do an introduction, then I'll find a run that suits that time. My headphones are extremely unhappy. Right. No more from you. All right, let's get moving and try and make up some time. We're on a mission here. I'm quite impressed with the fact that sophomore signals actually have a sound when they switch. Like if you were to go into free cam and just, you know, wait beside one until it switches, it actually clicks and collects. Sometimes the things that Dovetail will put so much energy into, it's so like, it's like, what? I don't know if this is still a thing, but on the older routes, if you'd stand near an electricity box, the hum that it makes is as per real life. The frequency of the hum is as per real life. What? Like, who even thinks of putting in such a detail? But I love it. We do love attention to detail. You know what, guys? It's a dreary, dreary, dreary Friday afternoon in London today. Jesus Christ. I'm tempted to even just shut the curtains and just have my light on, because it would be brighter. It would actually be brighter with my room light turned on. Wow. It's depressing. It's depressing. We love the UK, man, but wow. It's not great. You know what? Let me focus on the blue skies that we've got in front of us. We're better off. We're better off. If we're anywhere in the UK, close your curtains, draw your blinds, whatever it is, and let's enjoy the lush green scenery, the trees that have life, the animals that are flourishing, the blue skies. Let's just get away from it all for a moment. To be honest, I'd rather overdo it on the brakes than underdo it, if that's a term at all. We love a controlled approach. What I'd love even more is to time it so perfectly that all I got to do is apply the brakes once and let the train just coast into position. But takes a lot of skill. I mean, at least now we're only 30 seconds behind schedule instead of 2 minutes. So we are doing well for time. Well, making up time. But we still got a little bit of a way to go. I wonder if these trains had announcements. And if so, I wonder if Just Trains could have implemented their announcements from the 142 onto this unit. Got some kick to it, doesn't it? I'll be fair to the 101. It impressed me on the Northern Transpennine route. For what it is, for what it looks to be, it looks like a very meek and humble train, which it is, aside from, you know, what lurks beneath with the gearing system. But it's got some go to it. I mean, it's no Azuma, obviously, but I can appreciate it. I'm glad to see the AWS functions well. I don't feel like it did on Northern Transpennine. And finally, pulling into Omskurt. On time! We managed it! I'm not sure quite how, but we've managed it. Lovely stuff. That was smooth in the end. It worked out. We love a happy ending. When am I streaming tomorrow? I really don't like YouTube at times. The comments on YouTube will just not show. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough dealing with YouTube sometimes. So sorry, William, if you're still here, because apparently I've only got one person watching, which is myself. So if you are still here, William, I'm assuming the same. It was tomorrow Saturday, same time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. UK time. And is there a line near Cornwall? There is. There is. There is the West Coast line, which includes Cornwall, I believe. Please let me not be wrong. Let me double check that because now I'm double what's the word? Double thinking myself. Is that the word? Double guessing. But Cornwall, I believe, is there. Let me have a look. West Cornwall local. There you go. West Cornwall local. We indeed do have Cornwall. However, let me remove well, not even necessarily. Yeah? No more requests today. Hello here. Skipped frames. Why? That's interesting, isn't it? Right, so Birmingham Cross City line. Let's go, boys. The last route of today. I need to do the introduction. And then we'll do a route that suits the time frame that we've got left. So we've got about 40 minutes. So we might do a half an hour run if we manage to find one, because this should take 10 minutes. So that will leave us with about 30 minutes to spare.
In this training module, you'll be taken through the operation of a Class 323 EMU. During this brief introduction, we will go... Take a seat in the driver's position. This is where you'll be spending most of it. To unlock the control desk, insert the master key. Now, the train features
All right, unsurprisingly, pretty straightforward.
Next stop, where we will practice passenger operations.
It's got a very unique sound, doesn't it? Somewhat unique. I know the 7... It almost sounds like a Class 700 in a way. It almost sounds like how the Jubilee line slows down just before it stops.
The British Rail Class 323 is an electric multiple unit passenger...
I do like the sound of loose panels. That's really immersive. I love that.
43 train sets were constructed between 1992 and 1995, 26 of which went into operation on the Birmingham Cross City line. These units are known for their distinctive gear change whine when accelerating and braking. This is caused by a gate turn-off thyristor-based inverter.
It's a shame the GSMR doesn't at least display something, even if it's not fully functional.
We're now approaching the platform. Apply a small amount of brake force to come to a gentle stop.
Yeah, it's pretty much your average EMU. Pretty much your average EMU. It sounds nice. What I mean by that is it sounds realistic. Even though I've never heard it in real life, somehow I just know it. I don't know what it is.
Now open the passenger doors.
So surely you can just leave this key in for the whole journey, right?
Make your way to the next platform in the circuit unguided.
I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I love me. Something about being inside an EMU just feels right. For me, anyway. Maybe it's because of like the trains that I've just been around. Um, Something about him though.
Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train.
Smooth, you even got a little achievement for that. Right, so let's find a 30 to 40 minute run. Preferably on the journey mode, but if not, I'm not too fast. One thing I don't know, I know Birmingham New Street is quite empty. But I wonder what the timetables is like in general in terms of busyness. We've got a 32-minute run there. You know what? I wouldn't mind. What else have we got? Got a 36-minute one. I think I'm more leaning towards that one. That pretty much fits our exact time frame. So let's do that one. 5 Papa 15 Birmingham New Street to Lichfield, Trent Valley. And that will close us off for the day. Prepare this unit for passenger service, then drive from Birmingham New Street to Lichfield, Trent Valley. So first of all, we are going to turn off the stopping indicator. Stop marker. And now explore. So this is our door panel. Coach lighting on. Regen break-in. Is that something that's usually on typically? Let me leave it off for now. If it's not on by default, let me leave it on. That's our doors. Tail lights off. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A pantograph I would assume is up. Should be up. Don't think I'm going to be messing with that. PRA, no need to mess with that at the moment. Okay. Cab aircon, let's have that on low. Cab lights, we can keep that off. Wiper, of course, off. Cab fan. We'll have that off. I mean, we've got the air conditioning going, right? We'll leave that on that. Oh! Oh! Look at that. You can turn it on. Nice. Alright. I don't know what I'd be confirming, seeing as you can't really do much with it, but I like that. So, okay, so our safety systems are over here. AWS on. Vigilance on. DSD is on. I assume normal is on. Yeah. Happy to see that that's on by default, at least. TPWS on as well, as risky as that is. Can't mess with anything over there. These should all be fine. Yeah, all these fuses are closed. Objective marker off. All right, cool. Well, in that case, we're good to go. I wonder why we just stood there without our doors open. I just realized. Maybe I should have opened my doors even though there wasn't an instruction to do so. I do love the weathering, I'll tell you what. I don't know whether that's the work of mods or whether that's Dovetail's work, but nonetheless, looks great. So we've got 15 miles until... Oh, so it's a non-stop service. Okay. A lot of signals coming up and speed changes, so we're going to be busy for a little while. I've been to Birmingham New Street once. I don't remember what the station was like though. I was with some close friends and we were there on a mission type thing, so there wasn't really much time for sightseeing. I don't remember the speed limit for TPWS. So was it 20 or 30? Can never be too safe. It's a very quiet train though. But I do love the scenery, I'll tell you what. Okay, a little bit overbearing. Turn that down. Did not mean to put into emergency. That's one thing we didn't go through on the introduction, how to get out of an emergency braking situation. Hopefully it's just a simple process of the train coming to a stop and then... Yeah, okay, nice. This is not Birmingham New Street. Not in service. We definitely are in service. How do I set the destination? Wait. Is it not here? Maybe there's something I need to do some research on. No. Interesting. We're gonna have to do something about that at some point. Or are we? Oh, are we actually not in service? Actually, because thinking about it, we didn't open our doors at Birmingham New Street. Interesting. If this was an ECS, you know, an ECS move, then it usually will tell you beforehand. It's quite odd because it doesn't seem like I have any control over the destination board. Unless it's a bug, which, you know, it always could be with this game. And it also seems like we're directly behind another service. Little confuzzled, but if we end up stopping at a if we end up stopping at a red signal, then we'll be able to check the map and see what lays ahead of us. But at least we have some activity, something going on. Oh, I saw a teddy bear there. I guess that's a collectible. Those collectibles that are just in random places somewhat bug me. Because I'm not going to stop a service to collect something off the track. That's not really how it works. So I like it when they're all at stations, and then at least you don't have to sort of break your immersion by picking up a teddy bear that's on the side of a bridge. Yeah, it seems like we do have a stopping service in front of us. I wonder if we'd be able to see it. No. There's a little gradient there. Right, so while we're stopped here, let's try and figure out exactly what the situation is ahead of us. So yeah, looks like we've got a stopper over here. And that's pretty much it, really. In that case, I do wonder whether there'll be anywhere where we'll be able to get past, get around them. Otherwise, yeah. It's going to be a crawl to Litchfield. Yeah, I cannot imagine being a, an actual passenger service. It just doesn't make sense to. It's too early in the morning to, in my opinion anyway, for passenger services to be bunched up together. The brakes engage incredibly quickly. They're a bit hard to finesse if you're coming straight from acceleration to braking. Why do I slightly feel like this one's going to take a little longer than 36 minutes? And I wonder if all that waiting time in the station at New Street was to let the service go ahead of us. In which case, it begs the question, should the dispatcher not have let us go first? If we are, going express to Litchfield? There's only one answer to that question, really. There's this chewing gum that apparently has caffeine in it. I want to give it a go. I feel like it's just a gimmick, but only one way to find out. Oh, it's chewing on very quickly started to taste like poo. Like it's not just like, because it started off minty, and it's not just that the mint has died and now it's just gone. Now it's got a ridiculously disgusting taste to it. Is that meant to be the caffeine? Is that meant to be like, is that there to stop you from excessively chewing it? What on earth? It's bad. Oh my god. I hope that was the service that was in front of us, the one that's to the right of us. I can't do that. I can't do that. That's disgusting. It got so bad so quickly. Ah. Well, I'm thinking to myself right now, hold on, if there's a way to make chewing gum taste bad after a prolonged amount of chewing time, There surely is a way to keep chewing gum tasting good. Because that has to be there intentionally. Oh my god, it's hideous. That has to be there intentionally. But it doesn't say anything about it on the packet. Yuck, man. That was horrid. Yeah, I'm assuming that was the train that was ahead of us, because now it seems that we've got green signals all the way to Litchfield. I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong and it's Lickfield. The English language can be a bit funny at times. Ah. Jesus Christ. Should have paid a bit more attention to that. Yikes. Some form of cruise control would be handy. I feel like it's a lot more realistic to have cruise control, you know, on something like this. I imagine it would be a lot easier. I know it's not all digital and computer systems inside, like you'd find in, you know, a German loco that's got cruise control or AFB. Maybe that's what it is. It's just not digital enough. To be fair, this is from, what was it, the 90s? I think it was. So it kind of makes sense. I just realized on the blind it says to please fully deploy when train is disabled. I wonder why that is. What seats do we have here? Could it be that the... I don't know, maybe if the sun shines on the fabric, it could damage it? It's the only logical thing I can think of. As much as it's been a quiet run, just from, you know, end to end, I don't mind something like this every once in a while. Like a you know, like a long ECS move, or I don't know, maybe taking a train for maintenance somewhere. Like, it's nice to take a break from the day-to-day passenger transportation, especially, you know, for something like journey mode. That's what you'd expect something like that. So to be fair, it's good to see. Obviously, it's a little bit awkward because, like, this is literally my first regular run on this DLC on this route. Um, but it's still good to see. It fills me with like promise about what else the journey mode or the route, just the route itself in general, the timetable has to offer. Like the variances in runs. Heavy lag spike, which I'm actually surprised there hasn't been more of those, considering this is my first time playing this route and, you know, shader caching and you know, all that side of things. It's a pleasant surprise. Where's my lo-fi? I just realized I only turned it down a little bit. It wasn't meant to go completely. I've just been enjoying the rattle and the gentle noises that this train produces. Is this red here to slow us down, or is it actually for a purpose? What have we got ahead of us? Not fair enough. There is a surface ahead of us. But, okay, yeah, there is a surface ahead of us. I would assume we'd get a move on shortly, considering we're basically due there now. Let's have a little gander. Oh, he's on the move now. How about that? Off to New Street, one would assume. We should be cleared to go now. We are indeed. Might as well give it full beans for the last stretch. All right, geezer. And that's going to be us done. It's getting very dark here very quickly. Might be worth, will be worth turning the light on in here. There we go, just to brighten things up a little bit. Completely missing our breaking point, but it's alright because we've arrived safe and sound. And objective complete. There you have it. That will be us done for today. Thank you very much to everyone who's been a part of it. It's been a pleasure. Finally have a streaming schedule, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. UK time, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'll have that down in the description from now on. Thank you very much for being a part. Thank you to everyone who requested the route. Thank you to everyone who I had a chat with. Thank you for the new followers, the new subscribers. It's very, very much appreciated as we still strive towards our goal for both Twitch and YouTube before the end of the year. So for now, until tomorrow, thank you very much. Have a lovely rest of your morning, afternoon, day, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Have a lovely rest of it. Take care and peace.